Am I ready to go? Yep. Yeah, I'm Obby Robinson. I'm a poet from Lethmatchan, which is the most haunted town in England, and there's a kind of connection to the fantastic last poetry because yeah, I could sometimes get inquiries about like visiting there, and I myself can't find it on a map, so who knows? I'm a poet very interested in the supernatural and in magical traditions and in witchcraft, but there's one sort of aspect of all that that it just annoys me, and it's that sort of the heteronormative turn of certain witchcraft traditions. I'm talking about all the kind of the sword and cup kind of business. Practitioners who are friends of mine repeatedly tell me, you know, they've got the wrong end of the stick and that everything is made up of female and male aspects in their work. But I think that that is a bit like certain takes on the yin yang thing. You know, everything is made up of yin and yang apart from yin and yang, and therein lies the problem and therein. Anyway, this is the first poem called English Magic 1. It's to do with a problem of binaries, so it's got lots and lots of rhyming couplets, which makes it kind of sound fun. Okay, English Magic 1. In bright houses, lights are dimmed, and smiling at the fault of sin, tables are pushed against the walls by those whose footwear lines the halls, so that the dancing might be free, as witches' dancing ought to be. Toleration, Catholic taste, the many paths equally embraced, yet there is a thing that none can brook. English magic hates a spook. I blame all that sword and cup, both of themselves alone made up. Even when lodged inside its twin, there is no doubt where each begins. How firm and fine are those bodies. And this is what the ghost worries. It names a teller, the one who heard, requires a place set for a third, and the knowledge that has always been just so, though seldom seen. For by whose grace is a table dressed, whose eyes to service have been pressed, that you perceive it to be thus. Oh, they can be numerous, the meanings afforded by that gaze, but the ground from which each one is raised will never have been quite itself. The cup is ever somewhere else, the sword under a spell. Your thoughts no doubt turn to possible faults. What are the crown, you likely think? Two friends, yes, but each distinct. No, the ghost defers. An English magic quite concurs. Better the mirror, the sure receipt, the debt repaid, the line complete. There you have it. My next one is about a black dog. It's about a scary black dog, you know, like a shuck, very Halloween. And it's kind of a joke. And the joke is, you know, if you met something that was purely physical, yeah, total materiality, there in the reeds, waiting for you. It had no concept about it, no touch of spirituality around it or anything, just matter. My temptation is to think that you might not even notice you had met it at all, even if you touched it, you know, because it wouldn't even be physical, would it? Because physical is an idea, yeah. Is that kind of riff. And that's what the poem's about. The idea is basically that perhaps ghosts are really, really just physical. It's written as a Sapphic ode, and Sapphic odes are a form of poetry that really does not want to be written in English. Yeah, and maybe another time I'll talk about this more. But I've got a really interest in just in sort of forms of poetry that are a kind of an affront, that make you obey the law too much, being overly lawful to a death-like degree. I think is a very Gothic thing, and that's kind of what the poem's doing with that. This one's called Black Dog Ode. Black Dog Ode. Late that evening, I came upon a stray dog waiting at the river. Each hair upon its great form seemed to me as black as the deepest water resting in the silt. Although I'm not one for superstition, There was an undeniable, uncanny thrill. Death is said to accompany such creatures. I put out my hand, half in dread that it would find nothing but air. Shocking it was for me then, when the sure touch objects alone possess was all my fingers met, more terrifying than any insubstantial shade could be. For what is more spectral than matter shorn of reflection and felt without feeling? The ghost is but a thing, dumb in its solidity. Why else is shut content only to stare and be still? My hand had stretched out beyond the want in which all life is steeped, grasped I know not what. Look, I bring it forth that you might see. Shake it. Can you feel the cold fire? For such a far-flung thing, it is interesting how soon it comes upon one. Carpal close at times. Here I take my leave. Care should be taken when walking at night, by rivers especially. The nub of our world should not be felt. It is a great black dog. Farewell. That's me done.